Hey, welcome to another episode of Piano Guts 101 with Tim, the Piano Doctor. Today we've got a very cool piano. It's a Kawai baby grand piano. It's their GM10. Oh, my hair's all sticking out. Should get somebody from makeup over here. It's a Kawai GM10. It was a phenomenal piano. They made these, still make them. They're a good piano made in Indonesia by Kawai. Kawai is the only company that still has a research and development department for pianos, which makes them a pretty special piano. Every other company still makes them exactly the same way as they have. Kawai keeps trying to make them better and better and better. When I went to Kawai school, one of the things they stressed was take apart the piano, show people why they're better than other pianos. They want people to see the minutiae that they took time to actually make better. So let's take this one apart and see what it looks like. Foam board comes off pretty easy. Cheek blocks hold the action in. This is the action. Pretty substantial. Look at the size of that cheek block screw. I mean, it's ginormous. And it doesn't need to be, but it does give you an indication of the quality that goes into the piano. Now, Kawai was one of the innovators of using plastic in pianos. And in the 50s, plastic was terrible. This was in the 60s, 70s, 80s, still pretty terrible. By the 90s, they started making carbon fiber plastic. And then plastic started to be well used. That's what airplanes now and golf clubs and tennis rackets all use carbon fiber, which is basically regular old plastic, but then it's got carbon infused into it, which is kind of like putting rebar in cement. It holds everything in place. It just does that for plastic. But I'll show you some of the things on the inside on that in just a minute. P-slip, we showed you this on the Weber piano we looked at yesterday. Same thing, long piece of wood. It's just a straight piece of wood. It's there so that the bottom of the keys don't look like this, and so you can kind of keep some of the dust out and stuff. But what the Kawai company did was they put a piece of metal on the back side of it, and then they bent it 90 degrees so that metal runs this way and that way. Because if you bend a piece of metal 90 degrees, it strengthens it by 2. So they took that piece of metal, they strengthened it up by bending it 90 degrees, and then they put it across the key slip, because on a piano, the key slip can bend and warp and flex, and if it does, it'll go right up against your keys and make your keys stick. That's one of the common calls that I get for keys sticking, is the key slip has gone too far into the keys. All right, so let's take the action out of the piano and take a look at it. And again, this is the part in the video where I say, don't take apart your piano. Do not take apart your piano. Don't take apart your piano. Okay. So, here comes the action. There you go. Everything rides in the action on the rail. A couple of things that they've done that's made it pretty special. First off, everything rides along this rail that's kind of like the spine of the piano. It's got to stay straight and true. As long as it stays straight and true, the hammers will always hit the strings perfectly. That's what you want to see happen. So they took this, they bent it, again, 90 degrees, but they put an extra bend in it. They put a second bend in it of 90 degrees to make it as strong as it possibly can be so it'll never bend and flex. These down here are the stanchions that hold it in place. They put an extra one of these in place to make sure it would never move. Again, these are things that no other company does, but the Kawai company does because they want to build the best piano. And they have built, well, in the last few years they've built the finest piano, but since 1927 they've been trying to build the finest piano. The top of this up here, a lot of companies will put a thing of sandpaper across there, and that'll help the knuckles that are sitting right there from moving when temperature, humidity makes things flex and spin. These aren't, though. Let me get out the handy-dandy little camera. I want to show you what that looks like, because it's a really special thing. And if you are a piano geek like me, please subscribe to these videos. There we go. We got the handy-dandy camera. Now I'm going to point out a few things on the video here. Click, 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 click. Where is it? There it is. All right. So we're looking down here at the action. Here's what I want you to see. Let's see, what is it? Oops. All right, so. Let's see my hands. All right, so here's where my hands are. So get that right in the middle. All right, so. Come on back. There it is. This is the top that I was talking about. It's actually milled. You see the lines in it. They actually took the time to mill across the top of that, which is it's incredibly expensive to do, to get it right. But once they milled it, then these pieces would never, ever move. They're connected to it for good. That black line you see on there, that's another thing that they put in there to make them better. That's called an insulator. And what that does is it makes it so if there's any clicks or pops or anything in the action itself, it'll be insulated by that insulator, and there won't be any clicks or pops. It takes out everything. And again, most piano actions are they're at the mercy of heat and humidity. This piano is made largely of carbon fiber, so it's not what would be, it's impervious to heat or humidity. They took what used to be made of wood and made it smaller, and when they made it smaller, they made it lighter, and when they made it lighter, it meant you could play it faster, so it's definitely become one of the pianos that you see in piano competitions. But I want you to see that. Also, I want you to look down here on the actual key, or I'm sorry, on the actual hammer. If you notice, make sure my light or my camera's, the knuckle over here, where my thumb is, sorry, where my pointer finger is, the knuckle, that part is made of carbon fiber. But the hammer back here is actually made of wood. It has to be made of wood. When I was going through class, I asked them, my gosh, my hair is bad today. Y'all really, who was in charge of this? Anyway, when I was going through class, I asked them, I said, why did you do that? Why did you make wooden hammers with carbon fiber knuckles? It didn't make any sense. Why would you just make the whole thing carbon fiber? And they said, well, if you were to look at the hammer action as it's moving, as the hammers, we'll show it in a minute, as the hammers are going up and down inside the piano, they actually bend just a little bit and flex as they come back down, and bend a little bit and then flex as they come back down, just enough that if they didn't do that, you'd feel it. It would feel, you couldn't put any expression into it. So there's just enough so you can put expression into it. Again, they took what was impervious to heat or humidity and attached a piece of wood to it that is susceptible to heat and humidity because of the little bit of touch that it would enhance the piano. It's an incredible thing. It really is. All right. Last thing. I wanted to slide the action back in, though. Let's play it one more time, make sure everything's working right. Again, do not take apart your piano. If you do, and you start to put it back together and you hear a crunching sound, which will happen, call me. All right. All right. Hey, it works. Yay. So, back over here. So thank you for watching this episode of Piano Guts 101 with Tim the Piano Doctor. If you like this video, you can find more of them on the website, which is pianodoctorusa.com, pianodoctorusa.com. If you have any questions about this video, or if you have a piano you'd like us to take a look at, please put it in the comments section that's either below or to either side of this video. And if you'd like to reach me directly, text is always preferred, 706-833-4164. Thanks so much. Stay blessed.